Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. I'm making lemon tart in this video. Hello, in this video I'm going to make lemon tart, also known tarte au citron. Some lemon tarts are made with a lemon curd. This one is going to be a cream-based one, and it's just really delicious. Anyway, I'll crack on with it now. Alright, pastry first, and for good pastry it's best if everything's nice and chilled, so that is already cold butter, but I'm dicing it, going in the freezer for about 10 minutes or so, and that flour has also been in the fridge nice and cold. The icing sugar was just regular temperature. Okay, so the now very cold butter into the cold flour in my food processor. By all means do this with your fingers and thumbs. And I pulsed that for about 30 seconds, but I can still feel some sort of clumpy bits of butter in there, so it's not fine enough at this stage. You see the colour change there, and there's the texture change. Beautiful, like nice sort of sandy consistency. So in goes one egg, and a little bit of water went in, about 1 or 2 tablespoons, but you can always add it later on, and just mix that until it comes to that sort of stage. You can see that even the blade was struggling to turn around. So let's just see whether this comes together as a nice dough, and it should do, because this is a quite a high fat pastry. Full recipe on my website, unclematscookerylessons.com. So yeah, wrap that up, flatten it down a little bit, and pop that in the fridge again to get nice and cold whilst you make the filling. So it's a lemon tart, so we really want to make sure we use as much flavour from the lemons as possible by way of zesting and juicing, and really wring out that juice. But a zest is important as well. I'm putting the juice through a sieve just so I can collect the pips. I haven't got to try to fish them out. And here I am just sort of squishing the rest of the juice away. Now cracking your eggs. A very, very straightforward mixture. It's a bit like making a quiche, really, just a sweet lemony quiche. So in goes the sugar. Whisk that till it's homogeneous. And then we're going to stick some double cream in it, like so. Dead easy. Couldn't be easier. Very similar to lemon curd, but this one is obviously cream and not butter. And also we're baking this inside the pastry case, inside the oven, rather than cooking it on the top. But if you want to see a lemon curd video, I did a video for that. Anyway, so rolling out the pastry that's now chilled, plenty of flour, and just keep sort of adjusting it, turning it ever so slightly, like quarter turns or something like that, trying to keep the shape reasonably round. And just, if you need to add a bit of flour, add a bit of flour. And just keep going and going. And sort of the thickness is going to be up to you. I went for say about 4 millimeters, quarter of an inch, that sort of size. Depends what size your pastry case is as well, obviously. Now this recipe, for the pastry case I used, I actually was a bit generous, so I had more pastry than I needed and more filling than I needed, which that filling I've actually cooked out, and it's now in a jar in my fridge, basically like lemon curd. Now the technique you can see me doing there when I'm rubbing it with my hand is just sort of, you can feel the thickness if it's even. And so there we go, we've got loads of overlap for the pastry case. I put the size on the screen, it's just over 9-inch diameter, but it's very shallow. A deeper one would have been actually slightly better. And I'm going to go with this technique for getting it into the pastry case now, fold it in half and that in half to create a wedge, put the pointy bit right into the middle and then open up. And of course that's done very nicely. And then just take time, as always if you've seen me do pastry before, really, really push the pastry right into the corners all the way around. Really, really get it in there, and docking with a fork. That helps to sort of hold the pastry down flat, it won't bubble up as much. Now I've got overlap there, but I'm just trimming off some of it. We don't need that. And all these little bits of trimmings we're going to save, because you never know, you might get a hole in your pastry and you might need to plug it with a bit of extra pastry. Final check that I'm happy with the pastry. In with some crinkled up baking parchment, and in with some sort of baking beans. I've got these ceramic ones, but you can just use dried rice or dried pulses, whatever. And then into an oven, 180 about centigrade, about what, 350 Fahrenheit. That was Yeah, so I think it was about 25 minutes. I kept checking it every 10 minutes or so, just in case. And once it's sort of golden, a thorough egg washing. That egg was separate to the recipe. It was extra to the recipe, but that is just to make sure it kind of seals it. So when it bakes off again, to get a nice crispy base, hopefully you won't have any holes at all. And so this lemon filling will stay inside the tart. Get it into the oven, get it as high as you can, and very, very gently ease it in. And that temperature, the oven now is really low. I do mine much lower than most because I don't like it to souffle at all. So it took nearly an hour or so to set. Look at it, this is the next day. But you can, several hours in the fridge to just set down a bit, and then take off the extra. And that's a technique I've seen some people do using a peeler. I thought, yeah, that's quite interesting. Oh, that's all right. How is the pastry, by the way? Ooh, nice, sweet and crumbly and buttery. But this is my preferred method, my old trusty pastry knife, and I'm just sort of slicing outwards, so hopefully the crumbs from the pastry go on the chopping board and not onto my lovely glossy lemon tart topping. Using a tin, or you use a bowl or something upturned to remove the case. Obviously it's one of them cases where it comes out the bottom bit. What am I talking about? Anyway, there, look, lemon tart. I made lemon tart. Jug of nice hot water, always a good idea when you're cutting things like this. And let's cut a slice of this beautiful lemon tart. Not much history on this, I'm afraid. South of France, maybe 18th century when they were growing lemons down there, but not much else really. Or it could also be an adaptation of the Florida key lime pie. But there you go, that's my lemon tart, isn't it lovely? And a final flourish, a little extra touch to make it just a little bit more sexy. Icing sugar and my blowtorch, give that top a brulee. And then back over to me for tasting. Okay, it's quite early in the morning and this is my breakfast. Why not? Anyway, this, I've already had a little taste. Let's have another. The pastry in the bottom is absolutely perfectly cooked. It's really, really nice. That's the blind baking. Oh, lemon tart. So delicious. Silky, smooth, creamy lemon topping with a nice sweet, crispy pastry, short crust pastry. What is there not to like? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Catch you in the next video. Come real soon. Bye.